Hello friends and welcome back for episode 44 of our Terraria 1.3 Let's Play. Hope you're all doing fantastically well today. Today's episode is going to be the last preparatory episode before we enter the final phase of Terraria progression, meaning of course the lunar event. Well, there's actually several phases to the lunar event, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Today we're going to be sort of min-maxing a little bit, trying to get the optimal setup for our character before we head on into perhaps a little bit more scary ground. And I did a lot of playing, actually, off-camera that I needed to do to get a few items. I wasn't sure I was going to get them, but I figured, hey, I'm trying to get this freaking Avenger emblem, and I needed some souls for that, and then it was the wrong time of day, so I used an Eclipse to get to night. In the course of getting the Eclipse to get to night, I ended up getting a few drops, and then, well, I'll just show you my inventory. So how about that? We've got the Neptune Shell, which is what I needed to complement the Moon Charm and combine with the Celestial Stone to create this fantastical thing we're going to see in a little bit. I also picked up a few more Souls of Flight and some Shroomite bars, and that means we can make a hoverboard. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to use the hoverboard, but I wanted to show it to you anyway because people have requested it. See, I listen to comments, I really do. And you might notice over on the right here, we've got a different set of wings, because again, I listen to comments, and apparently the leaf wings are not only boring, but not the optimal configuration. People have told me the steampunk wings are better, so I got that up to +4 defense to complement my loadout here. We've got the Fire Gauntlet, which hopefully stacks properly with the Warrior Emblem, which is at 4 damage, and the Avenger Emblem, which is also at 4 damage. And, of course, we didn't change anything about the Frostspark boots. Those are just kind of a mainstay because I appreciate the ability to move quickly. In the course of this solar eclipse event, we also happen to pick up a couple of useful and cool-looking things here. We got the Ruthless Death Sickle, yeah, and a Quick Psycho Knife, which I will show you what those do. The Psycho Knife is actually cooler than I gave it credit for at first. I thought it was just like, hey look, a crappy short sword with no range. I mean, well, it's not a sword, it's a knife, but sort of in the same genre, right? But the cool thing about it is, well, you get stealth mode when you have it on, and then you can come out of the stealth mode and slash things if you want to be super creepy like that. Well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to be. Does this stay in stealth mode? Why am I... Well, that's peculiar. I couldn't run, and I was stuck in stealth mode. Is that how that just works? I thought whenever you attack, you come out of stealth mode, and then you can run around again. Also, what happens if I'm in stealth mode and then I use a grapple? Oh yeah, it retains absolutely no momentum. That's interesting. Now, I don't know if this is performing as intended or if there's just a bug going on, but it is kind of interesting that it seems to work that way. So maybe you could stay stealthed and, like, hack and slash up your enemies without them seeing you? That would be interesting. Alright, we've also got this Death Sickle, which is freaking cool looking, not only just to have as a character, but also because it leaves these little swirlies around in the air, which is just a cool effect, and it makes an interesting sound as well, one that I haven't really seen anybody else make as far as weapons go. Granted, neither of those two weapons are optimal in terms of damage output, but they're cool to have, and they're cool to have in my inventory here, so we're going to put those right back where I got them, with their proper slots and all. Feel free to let me know what's up with this Psycho Knife, if that was working as intended or if it was broken or something. So anyway, let's get down to the crafting element, because that's always what we do. And we're going to go ahead and make these two items here, the first one being the hoverboard. And since I spent a ton of money getting this up to +4 defense, I figured, well, we'll probably not replace it unless this just happens to come out at +4 defense or +4 damage, and it didn't do either of those. In case you want to see what that looks like. Ooh, wrong one. That's the hoverboard there. And we can press down, apparently, to hover with it. How does this work? Oh, you hold down and then you hold jump at the same time. Oh, and then we can scoot around like this. I mean, it's cool in theory. Doesn't really blend well with my character's build, though. I think, honestly, the steampunk wings look a lot cooler than this does in particular, but... yeah, I mean, look, they almost look like they're shooting off little neon rays coming out of it. Anyway, let's add this to our pile of flight accessories over here. Another one for the pile, and the other thing, actually I forgot to do this before, I also found a bunch of broken bat wings, which I don't think I have at all in my flight accessory pile. Right, there are bone wings, there are butterfly wings, there are bee wings, there are not any bat wings. So why don't we go ahead and grab like 20 Souls of Flight and make these as well, just to say we've got all of the wings at our disposal for the moment. I guess they're 20 Souls of Flight, right? They're usually seem to be about that much. And there we go, bat wings. Yep, I was exactly right on that. And they're brisk, like the iced tea, which tastes like chemicals. Bat wings are, like, pretty boring looking, to be honest. I think the steampunk wings, again, kind of win out in that respect. But maybe if you're making sort of a bat-themed character, that could be kind of cool, right? Anyway, again, something to add to the pile. Also, do I have... Yeah, I have these showing, right? So, I don't know, they kind of look cooler, actually, popping out of my cloak like that. That way you can see the cloak better. It has this cool streak, sort of reminds me of the character from Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, which I actually can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but it's okay. Alright, so that's that. One other... I know I've gone off the rails with this freaking explaining thing, but I also got a twin mask, which I figured you guys might want to see. With the dye on, it doesn't look very remarkable. It kind of just looks like a weird blob. But if I take the dye off, you'll see it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I could probably throw some different dyes on that and try it out. I like that I look like an insane creature from the depths of hell right now with this, the way it is. But again, it sort of betrays... Well, you know what? Maybe we'll just keep it like this for the moment, because it's odd and quirky, and I kind of like that. Good enough. We're going to be an eyeball monster today. How's that sound? I think the big trap I fall into too frequently is I just go with the same thing too often. Alright, so Moon Shell is what we get by creating the Moon Charm and the Moon Neptune Shell together. And then this should go to combine with the Celestial Stone to make the ultimate item that we're after. We got Armored, which is kind of unfortunate since we're not keeping that, because 3 defense is better than, well, nothing. And there's our Celestial Shell to turn us into a werewolf at night and a merfolk when entering water. Minor increase to all stats. And right now, this is minor increase to damage, melee speed, critical strike chance, life regen, defense, what does that say? Pick speed. Oh, like pickaxe. And minion knockback. So that's like a whole variety of different things that hopefully it retains all of these stat bonuses. And feel free to let me know, because I know some particular artifacts or accessories, like, I guess, the Fire Gauntlet, have sort of diminishing returns when it comes to certain things. So, like, does this get worse when we make a Celestial Shell? I hope it doesn't. If it does, though, I have enough items to create other stuff out of it. And we got Wild, which is plus 1% melee speed. This is probably extremely expensive to reforge, I'm guessing, since it's like a high-tier item. I'm going to assume it's probably super expensive. Let's check it out. I got a bunch of money from doing the Eclipse events, and I also happened to get a bunch of money. Why am I talking to this guy? Wrong click there, buddy. I also happened to get a bunch from my other world. Oh, it's 25 gold. Yeah, that's... Well, it could be worse, I guess. Let's do a few. We've got 4 platinum, 45 gold. Alright. Apparently, our friend here seems to have apologized. We'll take 4 defense. The thing you should know, too, is he's been really, really good to me off camera, and I thought maybe that was his way of saying, I'm sorry for all that money I took from you, and now I'm going to give it back to you tenfold, because he actually managed to give me, I think, like, all the stats I wanted on these bunch of things in, like, less than 10 clicks altogether, which is really good, considering how expensive most of these items are. So now we've got a Warding Celestial Shell. I don't know where to put it, really, in here. I mean, we've got a bunch of different items that it could probably replace. Perhaps if I'm really feeling desperate, I could go and replace the boots with it, or... that might be worth it, too. That could work. Oh, and then we can see the gauntlet on her hand. That's kind of cool, too. Mixes up the colors a little bit. That almost seems like its own theme right there. Alright, so that's going to be that. I think we've got the accessories out of the way. We should be stacked for a while as far as our damage output goes. Remember, we also have now the Tempest Staff, which if we click on this Bewitching table, we can double it. And I'm sure we could actually triple and quadruple it if I wanted to equip other accessories as well. We're not going to do that for the moment. What we're going to do, grab a few Truffle Worms. By a few, I mean 3, not 2. And what other potions are there? I could do the Gravitation Potion thing again if I really want. Got like 12 of them, so what's the harm in that? 1 for each fight there. We'll grab a few Swiftness. Swiftness Everdeen, and I think one of these will do it. Alright, let's head off, and we'll fight Fishron a couple of times again to see if we can get some other cool spells. I mean, I did some farming of some items off-screen. We didn't farm him off-screen, so that's going to be sort of just subjective, which ones I choose to do and don't do, I suppose. I figured the Eclipse wouldn't be very interesting for you guys, as you've already seen it a couple of times in this Let's Play series. Fishron, I guess you've seen a couple of times too, but I think the potential for rewards is higher with the Duke. I'm looking really quickly for strange plants as we pass over this stuff. I see none. And that's okay. So, what other things are there to do? Oh, with the Eclipse event, there were still 2 more items that I haven't gotten yet, so I still have to do a few more off-camera, perhaps. There's a thing from the Deadly Spheres, like a summoning staff that I can get to bring my own summoning spheres out, which could be kind of cool. I want to get that. I haven't gotten it yet. The other one is there's a eyeball spring from the like, laser Cyclopses that show up. So I'm going to try and grab both of those at my earliest convenience. I don't know when that'll be exactly, but we'll see. And also, you shouldn't count out this Godly Eye of Cthulhu, because this did some really good damage for me. When I was farming... Oh, I messed up the jump. No! That's alright. Should be able to glide to victory over here. Very slow glide speed. I thought that maybe that would be a bit faster. Any strange plans we walk over? Because I have none right now in my inventory. As it turns out, we've been bereft of those for a little while. Just RNG, though. Can't really do much to guarantee it. Can't wait to see when we get to the Duke's area which thing I forgot today. But, yeah, I've seen a bunch of comments that are, like, getting a little bit impatient that we haven't moved forward in progression. I've been of 2 minds about it, because one side of me says, hey, I really don't want to rush the end of the game, because once we get there, we're there, and then everything gets easy. Well, I mean, past the Moonlord, everything gets easy. Once we're to the Moonlord, I guess that's a little bit of a different thing. But, like, part of me doesn't want to rush it. The other part of me says, yeah, it's probably going to get a little boring if we don't start to get towards the end. Even still, I mean, I kind of want to take the middle ground and do a little bit of both. Regardless, though, I think that it'll be okay. There's enough other things we could do to maximize our entertainment value, I think. There we go. Let's get all of that going. We got our Rainfall going inside of the Rainfall. Let's see what kind of damage we're doing with the yo-yos. I should really put on my yo-yo bag if I'm going to do this. And to do that, I need to be on the ground. There we go. Let's see if that can freaking wreck him. I'm hoping it will. Oh, I should probably also be flipping the world a little bit, too. I'm gonna... not heal up, actually. It's not necessary yet. Just try and beat him up a little bit with the multiple yo-yos. I can't get a good look at him to see if I'm doing a lot of damage or not. Just freaking highlight him for 3 seconds. Alright, we're doing like 1,000 damage a tick or so. Like, it's doing actually fantastically well. Only problem here is it's really hard to get him to stand still long enough to hit him with the yo-yo more than once. Then again, it doesn't really matter because we're doing so much damage to him. It's each fall is doing like half of his health. Well, provided we can get him to stay still long enough to hit him a little bit. But yeah, you get the idea. Looks like he's at 25,000. Right? Yeah. Alright. I think he's enraged. I hope I'm still over the beach. It's hard to tell, though, because I haven't seen the ground in a little while. Oh, there it is. We're fine. Dude, stick around for just a split second. He's not even really doing much damage to me now, which is great. Oh, I spoke too soon. Let's heal just to stay at full. What kind of items are we hoping for from this guy? Well, there's a few spells that would be fantastic. Of course, the wings are the optimal wings that I can get right now. I believe they're the best ones that are available pre-lunar event. Oh, that hurt a lot. Really got to watch out for this last moment of reckoning for him. He comes back in a pretty harsh way. And the fact that I built that little wooden wall there has not done me any favors either. There he is. You know what I should really be doing right now is just using my Possessed Hatchet to try and get some damage in while I can't really see him very well. I think we're probably nearing... Oh no, we got 20 more seconds on a potion. Got stuck on the ceiling, which isn't a good feeling. Ceiling feelings are bad. I hate that I'm down to so little health right now. I believe I'm hitting him. My tornadoes, I don't know if they're really doing much. 2, 1, and stay on the beach. Let's go back to the yo-yo. This is actually still a pretty challenging fight, despite how strong I should be. There he goes. Oh, freaking... Put the tornado away. It's too late. You're already dead. Alright. I don't know how long those stick around after the boss has been defeated, but I'm a little worried that it could just one-shot me right now. I just want to get the drops, man. It's so much to ask. There we go. We got a broken bubble gun, which I believe, well, aside from it being broken, is one of the best weapons we could have gotten. That's the one that I remember killed him, like, really, really fast. So let's go back home, and we'll go ahead and reforge that a few times, see if we can get a better stat on it. Well, it would be nice if I had this, actually. So let's do this properly. Okay, so there's our dude. Let's go click on him. Bubble gun, bubble gun, bubble gun. There it is. 2 gold. It's not even super expensive. We got agile. I could do a lot better than that. 11 more gold. Deranged. That's awful. Minus damage, minus knockback. Who would want that? Zealous. Not great. Mystic. That could be good. Minus to mana. It's 107 magic. Well, I don't really have a good build for magic damage, so maybe this isn't optimal for us, but, I mean, at least we've got an okay build on it right now. The idea is that you would just lead him through a big pile of these, and pretty quickly, that damage adds up on him. We should have all the tools we need, though. Oh, you know what? While I'm here, I might as well re-up my stat bonus buffs from the few little tables that I can click on. We've got one for magic right here on the crystal ball. We've got our bewitching table, and we've got our guns. Don't really need the one for the guns. I'm not using anything gun-powered right now, but good to have everything I guess I have, just in case. Is that? No, I thought that was the dye one, the blue sky flower. We'll see how fast this eats up my MP as well, because I'm really not sure. Get a little bit of light on the situation. So anyway, we've got a little bit of time to kill. I was thinking about some stuff this morning. I've thought about this topic a number of times, but it feels to me like an extension of the conversation we had much earlier in the series about VR and like the way that technology is moving on. I think a big factor for us in terms of how like the progression and the evolution of entertainment is going to go is, number one, the Oculus Rift thing needs to happen. The VR thing is going to be huge because it sort of allows us to transplant our physiology into another realm that is, you know, powered by 360-degree motion, being able to see things all the way around your head. You know, that's a factor we've never had before. But I think another huge one is going to be when we can tap into our human brains and be able to draw out both memories and dreams. Now, what I mean by that is, number one, I think the first step is going to be being able to record dreams. So we'll have the ability to look back and replay our dreams and be able to then, I don't know if we can necessarily map them to 360 degrees, because actually I'm not sure how the brain functions with dreams exactly. It's a very curious question, actually, that if anybody knows the answer to, I'd be very happy to have this discussion. What I mean is, when you're in a dream, is everything that you see everything that there is? Or is the world realized in some sort of three-dimensional space that you're then actually looking around inside of it, sort of like an alternate consciousness? Which means a virtual reality simulation is actually just sort of another extension of the human brain's ability to look around. I hope that makes any sense at all. It's a rather confusing topic to talk about. But what I'm thinking is, so you get dreams, you're able to then realize them and look around in them, at the very least first just out of the same perspective that you saw them in, but then later on, the idea would be that you'd be able to actually look around in them, see them in 360 degrees, and see things that you never saw when you were dreaming them in the first place. The next step would be to actualize those dreams and allow people to create new scenarios with your thoughts. Now, I know there are early versions of things like that in that, well, we've got editing tools, visual interfaces and such for game creation. You know, games like Little Big Planet allow you to create things just based on your imagination, but there's still a barrier in how you're able to actually do that, because, well, you've got to be able to interface with what they're giving you to the extent that you're able to understand the user interface and then create situations off of that. Not everybody can always do that, and even though they've made them very easy, how much easier could it get than your ability to simply think of something and have it become, you know, law, so to speak? So, like, you could just go, hey, in this game that I'm making, it's a first-person shooter, and I want there to be an enemy that looks like this, and I think of it, and then there it is, and then has these rules, and then I think of it, and now it has those rules. Like, you're done. So then the next step of that is, now we've got the ability to create everything we want based on our thoughts. Where then do we go as far as storytelling? Because do we want to then experience other people's stories as much as perhaps we can experience our own? You know, if you can dream up anything you want, every story could be personalized to you. Every single concept could be more relevant to you as a person. Okay, apparently this plan does not work as well as the plan that I had before, which is to flip upside down. Still, be that as it may, we've still got one more truffle worm that we could use up here, so let's maybe try it one more time without that idea of what we were just doing, because it didn't seem to help. We'll take one more trip back over. So, if you have something like an experience like heavy rain, per se, which, I mean, we all kind of know how this kind of thing works, it's sort of a quick-time event-driven narrative from the perspective of the character. What if you were that character, and what if quick-time events were not a thing, but the story is emergently created from your own memories, and you can go in places that you had seen, maybe in your childhood, or maybe in your adulthood, I don't know, whatever seems relevant to you at the moment. You can go in, and then as the data runs out of things that you've already thought of, you can fill it in with whatever happens to come into your head the same way dreams are created. So, like, you know, there's the facade of this school from your, you know, childhood, and you remember certain areas of it. You haven't been in all the rooms. You go in the new rooms that you don't know, and then you fill it in with your own thoughts, and then those thoughts are committed to memory, and then those memories can be extrapolated upon whenever you desire. And so everything you've seen has then been created as reality, like that quantum superposition theory, where, you know, when you look at things, are they really there? And once you look at them, then they're sort of created into reality. I know there's way more to that concept than I'm representing in this idea, but I think there is a small amount of it that rings true. So yeah, you just create worlds like that, have them get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then eventually people would start to wonder, well, what if we start to link all of these worlds, and then we end up in the Matrix? I mean, that seems like sort of the singularity that we're headed toward in all manner of thinking. I mean, how could you not picture that people would then want to create those worlds and then share them with each other? That just seems to be the way that things go. And then, well, the question is, why would you want to experience other people's worlds when you could just have more of your own? I don't know, I guess because people like to experience stories and sort of live outside of their own mind to see other people's perspectives, but it would become very easy to become just a victim of your own ego then, and everything that you imagine would just end up being your own world. You'd become the god of your own universe, and then that begs the question of, like, how do we know that we're not the creation of someone else's thoughts living in an... Yeah, well, solipsism can't be disproved. I'm sorry. I don't want to get into that kind of a talk right now, but I guess it always seems to come up whenever you imagine worlds that grandiose. What's to stop these things from actually happening, though, I have to wonder? They seem so plausible when you take it step by step like that, and it seems so much like we're actually going down those roads for real. So, I don't know. It's very interesting to think about. Maybe a little bit scary at times as well. But it's fun. It's fun to think about these things, just to toy around with their concepts. Is that actually doing any damage to him? I really can't tell. I thought the bubblegum was... The bubblegum was OP with this guy. Seems like the yo-yos are really doing much better work for me, though. Look, he's already down... What is that? He's down about 2/5 of his health. Oh my god, what?! Did I go away from the beach? I don't know what happened there, but I got absolutely destroyed on that one. Alright, well, this sort of makes me want to just say, screw it, Duke Fishron. I don't even need to fight you anyway. I mean, I got most of the stuff I wanted before. I didn't get the wings, granted, but I did get the bubble gun, which was a thing that I was interested in. I didn't get the... There's like a spell that shoots these rings that do a ton of damage. That would have been great as well. But I thought once you got, like, any of those spells, everything got drastically easier. Is it... I have 91 defense. What is the problem here? I don't remember having to kite him around or be quite that careful. I mean, I have super high damage from what I can tell with all of this stuff. Maybe I should have just stuck to the hatchet and then just taken a long time. I don't know. So, I'm thinking about the next thing that I should be doing. There's not a whole lot else that I could do right now in this episode. I know it's been a rather short one. I know, gotten some ire up about the shorter episodes, and life just got in the way the other few days. Today, I can't really say that life has gotten in the way. I mean, I have time to record more, but there's not really much else that I want to do to bookend today's thing. I mean, really, all I could do is look for strange plants, and then if I don't find any, go home and then call it a day. But I really just wanted to cap off this experience and just say, hey, like, we've done most of the content. I know I could do Frost Moon. I know I could do Pumpkin Moon. I know I could do a Pirate Invasion. You know what? Maybe we should do a Pirate Invasion. That's the thing we've got time to do today. And I believe I should have a treasure map ready to go, so honestly, there's nothing really stopping me there. There's not a lot of weapons I want from a pirate invasion, to be honest, but let's try it out. There is a new thing in the pirate invasion that I haven't shown you before. No thing. Because have we done any of these in this Let's Play? I don't think so, right? The pirates are approaching from the west. Good for them. Get them on over. Anyway, while we were on that topic of all that stuff we were discussing, feel free to chime in the comments. I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are. People who have read some science fiction and might be more well-versed in these ideas and concepts, I'd love to hear what other thinkers have thought. I mean, trying to make myself sound any more grandiose there. I mean, it's just anybody's a thinker. But people who have gone down this road before, where did they end up? Am I on par with similar concepts? What do you think? Where are the pirates? Imagine what that would do to video games, though, if you could just do anything you want with them. Like, oh, I'm tired of Terraria now. Like, we've seen all the content. Let me just think of some concepts, and then, oh, they're in the game now. So let's play with these rules and see what we can do. It might be fun, but it also might be so boring, right? Because, like, everything that you're capable of thinking, you've already thought of in a way, until you think of it on the fly, and at that point, it's like, there's no surprising you anymore, is there? Although I guess dreams don't really work like that. You're surprised by your own dreams. You seem to fall into this situation where you're not really conscious of the fact that you're dreaming, so like we need to induce some sort of similar state like that in people, which could be a little terrifying. Maybe it would end up like The Cell. And then you've got to remember that you've got the button on your finger, and then there'd be forces trying to make you, or force you into believing you're in this reality. Oh my god, that's so terrifying. You get a freaking hacker that would be like, alright, I'm going to terrorize everybody that can get into my world and make them think they're in mortal danger. The reality is we just forgot we've got a button on the side of our hand that gets us out of it. Why did the pirate invasion bar just go away? And why is this so slow? Guys, show up! Please. It should be very easy, and it might only take a few moments, but I'm hoping we might get a drop or two. There are some that show up in both the Goblin and the Pirate Invasion that I have not shown off. I think in either of the two Let's Plays between the live-streamed one and the one you're watching right now. I'm probably going to have to start doing some streams pretty soon for Terraria, where I'm probably going to have to do some fishing and maybe some building. We're going to keep the forward momentum, though, I guess, in this particular version of things. So, like, next episode is going to be us killing the Lunar Cultist and seeing how long that takes. It shouldn't take long, I imagine. Maybe we could do a pillar or so, maybe two, and we should go ahead and build some stuff out of that content, and then we'll see about progression. I'm thinking it's only going to be 2 episodes before we're fighting the Moon Lord, at most. So things are going to go really fast, which is why I didn't want to push this last few bits. And then once we get to the Moon Lord stuff, well, then the stuff after that is going to be trivial. I mean, stuff after that meaning stuff before that, aka the events prior to that. Oh, we got a golden lamp. We go ahead and make a golden pirate house at one point. Who was that? Some lady. Oh, was she the sniper? So there's some kind of, like, pirate sniper lady? Yeah, this guy here. The crossbower, that's her role in the pirate organization. Anyway. Yeah, this is taking, like, less than 3 minutes to kill all the pirates. In the streamed version, we actually got so freaking stuck on this in expert mode. It was hilarious. Like, we died, like, 50 times each. And in this, it's just trivial now. I mean, we were... I don't know, were we slightly around the same spot? I can't actually remember what we were at progress-wise. But it was so much harder. Also, where's the pirate ship? Or is that only expert mode that shows up? That's what I was counting on showing you guys. I figured the pirate ship would be kind of cool. It's a cool-looking event when that shows up. It's just, man, it's frustrating. It's sort of like UFO. There always seems to be one main focal point of, like, a scary thing that happens that drops cool stuff. Also, we freaking didn't farm the probes anymore, because I haven't seen another one of them at all. Not sure why that is, or what seems to cause them to not spawn, if there is even a reason. Feel free to let me know that, actually, if you want to. What are ways... Oh, the pirate ship is here. Here it is. Flying Dutchman. Very cool looking. Cool art. But let me know if there is a way that I can, like, force the eclipse or some kind of thing to force the probes to show up, if there's any kind of best practices there. I know being on the sides of the world really helps, but I don't know beyond that if there's any other steps I can take. You know, having, like, battle potions or having blue candles, any of that kind of stuff, would that be useful? Also, I seem to see comments nearly every episode of, like, can you show me what all the chests are? And I've said this in other episodes, but I had a picture that I created, and I posted it on Twitter, and I've linked it in a number of different comment sections. But it was actually in one of the descriptions, I think in one of the episodes around the 20 mark, where it just linked to that tweet that I made of the picture with all of the chest description. The only thing I've changed about them is, next to all the weapon chests, I've now added, what was it, summons as another weapon type. I'm probably not going to use all of those, that chest full, because, well, I don't think there's enough summon items to be able to make that really useful. But, you know, now that I'm getting towards the end of progression, I'm looking back at the steps that I've taken and the different setups of chests, and, like, I probably wouldn't do much different, but I would probably add another chest for banners. And I'm thinking if I have to reconstruct things or add a little bit on to the bottom, well, I left this space intentionally on the left and right sides here. So what I could do if I really had to is I could shuffle some stuff around in such a way as to create a spot to have a second banner, or a third banner spot, because look, I mean, we've got this many freaking banners right now, and, well, there's gonna be more. Like, I haven't added pirate stuff yet to this whole mix, and we're gonna need to do that, and it's gonna fill up. We've also got the alien stuff. I haven't farmed that hard enough, so yeah, it's gonna add up pretty quickly. So what I could probably do is take mechanical, or take, I don't know, none of these really seem perfect for it, but one of these needs to end up down here, and then we'll just add another banners. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at on that stuff. If I needed to, of course, I could just expand even more into the walls. I don't know what I would do for most of these other ones. I feel like we've actually got more than enough chests for the majority of this stuff. I mean, accessories are getting a little bit tight now. That one's totally full. This one's 3/4 full. Some of these are going to get combined. Obviously, I'm going to need to make a GPS, or not a GPS, a cell phone eventually, so that'll free up a bunch of spots. I imagine there's a number of duplicates here. I mean, these emblems all are duplicate. We'll add that all together, and I think we'll end up with some room. We've got doubles of, like, half of the stuff in this chest. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff we could still clear out and move around. Pets, like, this is all I've got so far. There are a number of pets, though, that I haven't picked up or found yet, so same with mounts. Chests are nearly empty, but I wanted to have a designation for them, otherwise it all ends up too full. And dyes also, my goodness, I've freaking filled up the dye slot so fast. Moving over all of the traditional base dyes, though, has freed me up a whole bunch of spots over here for crafting. So, it's all working out. That pirate invasion, by the way, sucked. We didn't get, like, any good drops except for just all of this gold material, which, you know, honestly, it's good furniture, I guess, but it doesn't really save me in any other way. Got some more vanity stuff, some sailor pants. We didn't even get sailor uniform stuff, so that'll be for a future one. We'll go through, we'll do farming of random events and pick up all the extras. It doesn't take long. If you got the materials necessary, you can go through 4 or 5 of those events all in a quick clip. I mean, like I did with the Eclipse, it only took, like, 3 events of that for me to get 95% of the drops. Like I said, there's 2 more things left that I haven't gotten. But we'll figure that all out next time. That's going to be it for today's episode. And next time, you can be very excited, we will get into the lunar event. So I hope you're ready for that. Please do leave me any comments about the alternate realities and solipsism and whatever you want to. Just don't get angry at each other, please. And I will see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Hope you have a fantastic night. Later.